Hi, welcome to the Third Knock podcast. I have my guest here with me, Mohammed here. He owns an SEO agency. I'll go ahead and let him introduce himself.
Hello. So basically, my name is Mohammed, and I am from Pakistan, and I've been running my agency in US since more than 4 years. And yeah, we are certified by some of the biggest companies out there, like Go High Level, Claude, Anthropic. Until now, the best part is we have worked with over 300 businesses in US and some of the biggest names out there, like Century 21, the real estate firm, then Hostly Reply. So these are the names and seven figure agency. Yeah. So that's a quick introduction about myself, like what I do and where I'm from. Yep.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. That's all awesome. The other thing I learned about him is he's a lot younger than he necessarily looks, you know. Generally, I'm working with people that are in their, mid 20s usually, and here in the US, definitely even older than that usually. So I was like impressed that he's like, I tell him how old you are. Like,
I am 18 years old and I started my agency. Basically, I started learning skills like 4 years back when I was 15, I guess. Yeah. So like I started running some digital marketing things. And then eventually I came into the Go High Level. It's a platform, then I've learned it and I'm certified now. Yeah, so started very young.
impressive.
And
It's impressive. And I started, younger in my era too, but not entrepreneurship. I just went straight into like career mode and bought a house when I was in my early 20s and but that's a whole different thing. Like, not at 18. Like at 18 I was off being an idiot. Like, I didn't know what I was doing, making a lot of mistakes, being in when you're a teenager you think you know everything and unfortunately I thought I knew everything and it was all wrong. So
yeah.
why did you decide to start an agency? What inspired you to go at 15 to go, I want to start learning how to do marketing and do these things?
Yeah, so basically, when I was teenager and I saw some of the biggest names, like there's a conference in my country, and it's called Connected Pakistan. Like it's a conference where people came, like from the world, the entrepreneurs came and they gave speeches about their careers. So I was there with my father, and I saw people like motivating other people, and that thing really inspired me to start my own agency. I came back home, I researched, and then I started learning new skills. However, at start it was very, very difficult for me because obviously people won't buy anything from a 15-year-old kid until unless you have big case studies or something like that. But eventually, I've got connected with mentors. Then yeah, I've seeking many helps from them, and yeah, now I am here with a podcast with Nathan.
That is awesome. Like it really is. It's inspiring. You don't hear about, like I said, here in the US, it's really rare to hear about anybody, young trying to do things. I'm trying to inspire my kids to do things and trying to get them to do things. And they do. They've started out. My daughters actually, they started a business selling, like night crawlers for fishing and they'd go out and
Okay.
catch them and they'd put them in containers and they actually had to deal with even some of the gas stations and things. And it's like, anything you can do to get out there and try to create something on your own is amazing to me. And to hear somebody at 15, you had a lot of challenges at that time, I'm sure, not just people willing to pay you. How do you even get a way to accept payment? Because, most of the, you're like, you can't even open like a PayPal. They're like, oh, you ain't old enough. Like,
Yeah, I'll tell you what happened. So basically, not just when it comes to payments, but the people, like the society, they also judged me. Like I was there, I was learning skills. Even my friends, like I just got cut off from all of them. Like they started ignoring me. Even my own relatives, my aunt. Yeah, so things like that happened to me, and it still happen now. If you talk about the payments and stuff, honestly, there was an unfair advantage for me because of my dad. So he supported
oh,
me.
great. No, you still had to find, you found a way though, even though you had help.
Yeah, yeah. In my whole career, the only guy who supported me the most is my father.
Well, that's awesome. No, no, no.
Yeah.
That's a great support system. It's awesome that we all need help time to time. Like people seem to think they look at you at some point in your career and they're like, "Oh, no, this guy's got it all figured out. Everything's easy for him. Everything's, and it's like, "No, no, no. You didn't see. That's the problem. You didn't see when I was, climbing out of the trench. You didn't see when I had to figure out every problem. And
I used to work 18 hours a day at
yeah,
the age of trying to figure out things, like trying to bring in more clients for my agency. It was very difficult at that time.
no,
Now I do have a team working for me, but yeah, starting it was very difficult.
yeah. Do you feel that it was an advantage or a disadvantage being in Pakistan? Out of just curiosity.
What I believe, it was both in some terms, because being in Pakistan, obviously it's a third world country. Over here, there are some crises, and obviously the culture over here, things like that. People don't support us. But yeah, I do get connected with some of the entrepreneurs out here running their agencies to 7 to 8 figures, and they guys supported me a lot. Maybe that's the advantage when it comes to here being in Pakistan, and it helped me a lot because they guys connected me to some entrepreneurs in US, and yeah, that was a quick head start of my career back then.
Yeah, yeah, no, I always like to know just out of curiosity because a lot of people I talk to from other countries are like, "You have it easy, you're in the United States," and it's like, well, I don't know. I kind of see it go both ways. I see
Over
you have some
here, yeah, I'll
advantages
get.
and you
Uh-huh.
have some disadvantages. Your advantage is you probably could charge a lot less than me because your cost of living is less, and therefore I have to charge more. And so my entry level it becomes harder. But then you also have the time zone difference, and you have some disadvantages too. But
Yeah,
like I said, I think it kind of goes both ways. You can definitely leverage those.
if I tell you, like, we have to work over here from 5 p.m., like 5 p.m. Pakistani time, to 2 a.m. in the morning, following the US time zones. Yeah, our lives are opposite over here.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta go where the customers are, and you gotta sleep when, you know, they're sleeping and wake up when they're waking up, even though that it's on the wrong time zone. Even here in the US, sometimes, even being off like 4 hours with some people, sometimes I have to get up, 4 a.m. to do an early
Oh,
morning meeting with them because they're in New York or, they're a few
yeah,
hours ahead of me. And even that, it's kind of because I have a family too. So it's like you got to get up for that meeting. And then I got to try to go back to bed. Then I got to try to wake up at 6 or 7. So I got to get that extra hour of sleep to. Yeah, so sometimes it even gets interesting over here. And then I have some clients in the UK too. So obviously they're on a different time zone. So it's like you're
yeah.
always juggling. You're just trying to keep everything in line.
24 by 7. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So do you regret getting started at 15? Do you regret going into this industry, like with all the talk of AI is going to replace you and SEO is dead and
That's the beautiful topic that we have touched. So on our first point, like getting all this in at an early age, I don't regret it because I've seen a lot of kids at my age doing parties, wasting their parents' monies, or doing some irrelevant stuff. However, like if you see me or some other kids my age, like just putting their heads down and working, making money. So I believe that's much better than being a guy wasting their time at a young age, because starting young, it's like giving you a 20 to 20, 15 years back then head start. Like you have 10 years to prove yourself, you have 10 years to make money, buy a house, build a family. That's a beautiful, like that's a good thing. And in AI, honestly, what I believe is AI is here to assist us, not replace us. Because yeah, I'm a member of seven figure agency of Hamid Mahmood and Josh Nelson. So we guys talk these honestly every single day on our communities on WhatsApp, and I talk to the agency owners, and mostly people have the same question like AI. So what I believe is AI is here to assist us, not replace us. And I'm going to give you an example. Like say previously in my industry, like in Go High Level, there we were providing experts, like we were the fulfillment partner of users of it. We were providing some other digital marketing services as well, but I'll just talk about Go High Level because it is my it's my plate, all stuff I know about it. there was no AI. But at the start of 2026, they guys started introducing AI features, AI agents, then AI doing stuff inside of their CRMs. That was a quite terrible, months for us at the start. Like things were juggling down and we were also confused. But what then we have figured it out how to basically counter this AI stuff. What I believe is like agency owners like me and you should leverage AI when it comes to doing SEO, like come into AEO as well, provide services of SEO/AEO. So this way you are leveraging AI and you are getting assisted by AI and you're making more money than before.
Yeah. Like AI obviously is just a tool, like as you're saying, and obviously as marketers, whether you just do search engine optimization or you do full marketing, marketing tactic is shock factor. What is the shock factor? Oh, SEO is dead. I mean, they've been using this back in the days of Yahoo, way before Google even existed. I mean, I used to hear it back when we had Yahoo. SEO's
Yeah,
dead. Oh, Yahoo's gonna die. And don't get me wrong, Yahoo pretty much was overthrown, but they still exist to this day. Yahoo's still a business. They still make a lot of money. Like so
that's a good point. Yeah.
yeah, so we use these shock factors of SEO's dead. It's all about AI now, and it's like, but the numbers don't correlate. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I see myself using AI more and more over doing a
Uh-huh.
Google search, and I think that the trend will probably go that direction. But you still need to optimize. You still need a website. You still need marketing material. You still need content. You still need all the basics are still going to be a need, no matter whether it's Google or ChatGPT or Claude or whatever you're using to ask questions on or to search for things. You're going to need optimization. Uh,
Absolutely. Mhm.
but a lot of people are out here trying to say that, and I envision when they're telling me these things that AI is going to replace everybody. I'm visualizing a search screen or a chat or whatever, and here is a robot or AI doing a search, and then there's an AI creating the content for the robot doing the search, and it's like, at what point do we go? That doesn't make any sense because
Honestly, I laugh at these type of people who say AI is here to replace us because it's not true.
yeah. Yeah, over here, I believe the first things that are going to go are like entry level jobs. They're going to start implementing AI robots to replace like fast food workers, gas station
Yeah.
attendants, things of that
Receptionist.
nature, because it's always just repetitive. It's the same thing, assembly line, warehouses. Those
Yeah.
workers, like, you don't if you don't have to have a skill to do the job, like those are going to be the first things that these big corporations start to implement these AI robots to replace you. But there's going to be new jobs that are introduced too. And it also, what I've noticed with AI for myself anyway, is now I can do the task of like, instead of three people, I can do the task of like eight because it's kind of like the repetitive stuff, AI is great at repetitive stuff. It also helps you refine things and speed up processes and like you said, all these great things. I'm not a go high level user, but because I've been around before it even existed, so I have my own kind of implementations and I do automation to do kind of the same systems in my own way. Not that
Okay.
I haven't had any negative or positive experience with Go High Level because I've never really used it. I know lots of people have,
I would recommend you then. I would recommend you then for your own API.
but yeah, so it's just kind of crazy how the world has this view on AI, and it's a negative one most places, and most people you talk to are like,
Yeah,
it's
honestly,
bad.
and let me tell you one thing. AI is it's not the first thing. Like if we go in early 2000s, the world shifted from newspapers manually to internet. So
Right.
yeah, and people those who adapted internet at early times are the ones successful companies in 2026. So it's same like when it comes to AI. We have to adapt it.
Yeah, that's marketing, man. You got to pivot. You got to go with the flow, and that's just it. It's
Yeah.
just like you said. We had the phone books, and that's all you
Yeah.
had to do back in the day. Get listed in the phone book. Your business, you got that half the page ad, and you're good. And then it was like, oh, what's happening? We're not getting jobs from the phone book anymore. And it's like, oh, Google, like Google has this thing called Maps, and apparently that's where everybody's finding us now. And then they had to pivot over to that, and now it's like, well, is AI going to be that? And is it going to, shut down Google? I don't think it's going to shut down Google by any means, but they may become the next Yahoo. We don't know. And that's the scary unknown. And that's the shock factor. It's going away. Your job's going away. Like, hey, look at my headline, read my article, watch my video. Don't hire an SEO guy. You need me, AEOGP, whatever we're going to call it. Because it's special, and we know what we're doing because we're predicting the future. But but a lot of people they fall into that because the marketing people, they're scared because it's going away, right? They're losing their money, they're losing their career. And then the business owners, the same thing. It's fear of, hey, we've already experienced, some of them, we may have experienced this before, the phone book. And like the newspaper is your analogy. Like, so they're afraid. Yeah, they're, oh no, we better get in on this. But they're being sold by these people who may not even know what they're doing, and they know that it's so new that nobody knows. So that's a scary thing that people need to be aware of and to watch out for, because as of now, marketing and SEO is, in my opinion, more important. It takes more work now than it did prior. So you really got to put in a lot of that effort to show up everywhere, because we don't know what the future is going to be. That's the unknown. It doesn't have to be a shock factor. It doesn't have to be a fear. It just says, hey, we don't know in a couple years whether Google's going to be king anymore. It may be someone else.
Maybe LLMs.
Yeah, yeah, it might be. And I think that they're taking over a lot
Yeah.
of the question
I'll tell
factors.
you. Yeah, I'll tell you like a quick survey. Like in 2025, most of our, visitors, like the traffic on our website were coming through search engines like Google and Microsoft. But like from the start of 2026, our half of the traffic is moved from search engines to LLMs, like AI type of thing. But the best part is now we are having traffic from all over the sources, like search engines, LLM, ChatGPT, from everywhere. So it's a good point for us agency owners as well, because we are getting traffic from all over the sources over the internet.
No, I think that it's good, the direction we're going in. Let's be honest, a lot of us have been complaining for years about Google having full control, because when they have the majority control like that, and you have an issue like a suspended listing for something that you didn't even do wrong, or just it's really on them, and you're trying to get their help, and they're just like, blah blah blah, they'll drag that on for 2-3 weeks, even months sometimes for some people, and you're like, this is messed up. This is the only way I get business. So as we break that up and we start to see people come from Yelp or Home Advisor, or the LLMs, and then you got Google, and obviously Bing's making a kind of a, they're getting a little bit of that traffic now too, because with their AI implementation with ChatGPT and things, they definitely are doing better than they were. So that's a good thing, because then if Google does pulls one of those shenanigans on you, you're still getting some business, like you're
From
not
other
just like,
platforms.
I'm dead because Google decided I am. And so
Yes.
I do think that's a great part of it. And
Absolutely.
so what was some of the struggles that you've had to build, like to get where you are now? Like what are the things, did you ever feel like giving up? Did you ever feel like it was too much?
Yeah, like nowadays as well, really do sometimes think like, man, this is too much. I'm burning out myself. Or when like sales aren't coming, when clients aren't coming, when my campaigns are being failed. So I just sit like alone and think what's happened. And honestly, at the start, when I used to work 15 hours a day, 16 hours a day, like at the age of 15, and obviously at start there is no result. So I used to sometimes I used to cry at night. Like obviously there was no one and to support me, to give me clients, to help me hunt. So that was a quite bad part, but yeah, now things are stable. What I've learned in my career is you don't have to build like your income from one source. Same in the agency space, you have to divide your lead sources, like where are these leads coming from? Do not rely on only one channel. So that's the mistake that I've done, because I'll tell you, like I had over 2,000 followers on my LinkedIn, and they guys banned my LinkedIn like I don't know, a year ago or back then. And the only reason was that I was under 18 at that point. So they guys banned my LinkedIn over 2,000 followers, and at that point I was shocked because my most of the traffic were coming from LinkedIn. But then I decided, to go on into other sources as well, like Facebook, then email marketing, SEO, AEO. Like I've tried to focus on different things at once. So yeah, that's a bad part.
Yeah, no, it's a real struggle. Like I said, I've wanted to give up more times than I can honestly admit, and sometimes it's even been further in my career to where I'm just like, it's too much. And then I got to think back though and be like, remember when you first started? Do you remember? Because it's like when I first started, it was like, it was like you were clawing and scratching and just trying to get any little bit you could, I was charging so little, it was insane. And I was going to these business owners door to door, basically walking in, and I was paying money out of pocket because I always had to come with a gift. Like you had to kind
Yeah.
of bribe the people at the front. It's like, here's some licorice, make sure
And
that the
and
business owner gets this. Like,
And what happened is they take your gift and they just close the door and you
a lot of the time, right? Well, I was slapping my stickers and stuff all over it. That way, it's like a big old tub of licorice. That's why because I know they're gonna come over and like they're gonna be eating it, and it's like, who brought this? And then you got your sticker, and I'm like, I'm just hoping when I follow up that they're gonna let because they're the gatekeepers, the receptionists in that they're basically preventing me from talking to the business owner. So I got to kind of bribe them
that
with the licorice and
that
thing. And then they started looking forward to me showing up, because they're like, what is Nate going to bring me today? And so then I show up with more gifts, it's like, and then you got to do that about 2, 3 times. And then I'd be like, I just want to talk with them just for a minute or talk to her for a minute. And let's you tell her what I offer. And if you guys aren't interested, obviously I'll be on my way. But the amount of effort that it took me to make a very little amount of money was ridiculous. I was like, oh man.
that's the same thing when it comes to cold calling. Like they have their gatekeepers and they pick the call and they just don't, forward the phone to the owner. And that was the same, difficulty that I faced when it comes to cold calling the businesses at start. So yeah.
Yeah, I know. It gets interesting for sure. So what advice would you give somebody who was just starting out? Like what would you tell if you had to as an example, let's say that you became the father role, like your own
Mhm.
dad, and you have a son or a daughter and they're saying, "Hey, I want to do kind of like you. I want to go out and start something and build something." What would
Uh-huh.
that advice look like?
Just let them do what they want to do. Like what I believe is if your children or if somebody younger than you and like you guys are in the same family or you guys are friends or something like that, relatives, something like that. If person is starting out, no matter what he's doing, it's if he's following his passion, so definitely you really need to support that guy because support matters a lot. Obviously there will be hardships will come, and obviously when there will be no support from anyone, the person would be break down, like it will fall down and there's no chance he will be getting up. So yeah, always support your children, always support people around you, help them climb the mountain so that they could bring in some herbs for you when coming down. So yeah, that's one thing.
Just be there for them. Love them unconditional. Let them make their mistakes because as a dad, I don't want my kids to make mistakes. Like I'm just going to be honest, like I don't think any of us do, but I know that it's important that they do make those mistakes. And I've been criticized for my parenting style before because I'm kind of the parent that's like, if my 5-year-old doesn't understand not to put their finger in the socket, the
Uh-huh.
outlet, I'm kind of, I've warned you. I say, and in a way that a child would understand, this bites. Don't put your fingers near this; it'll bite you. And
Yeah.
a lot of people here in the U.S. are like, oh, you need a child-proof. Put these protectors in every outlet.
Yeah.
Make sure they can't get burned on this. They can't do that. They can't do that. So we're kind of like not preparing them for life, in my opinion, because you're going to get burned. You're going to get shocked. You're going to. There's going to be things that happen to us that we don't want to happen to us, and so
After getting like shocked, the
one
that
time.
won't do that again.
time. Yeah, that's it. Like, and that's kind of the fact. It's same thing with the stove. If I'm not saying don't leave a hot boiling pan and let them really seriously get hurt, but they need to get burned to understand why they need to avoid being burned. They need to get shocked to understand you don't put your finger in the outlet because you're going to get shocked. Like, I'd rather it happen in front of me and me be able to
Hmm.
make sure they're okay than them to not, you know. So you got to kind of let them make those mistakes. And that's the same thing with business. There's going to be mistakes. None of us start out going, "Oh, we're going to be Fortune 500 or billion-dollar companies." We all started somewhere.
Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. At start, like 2 years back, obviously after that, the clients were coming in. And I'll be honest with you, I've lost thousands of dollars on call, like on client to client call at the start. And the reason is my silly blunders when it comes to sending the contracts or just not handling the objection. This is like I'm telling you at the start, I've lost more than $20,000 on calls. So yeah, but the best part, my dad didn't scold me. He didn't said that you just lost. It's because of you, blah blah. No, he said, don't worry, we'll go get new clients, we'll make more money. Do not do this mistake again. And believe me, after that, I haven't done that mistake again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the thing about doing anything, building any kind of business, you are
Yeah.
going to have these mistakes. And some of us were more equipped for certain things and we're less equipped for other things. Like even getting on video for me is hard because I have social anxieties. And some people will be like, no, you don't. Look at you. You're here talking to somebody. You don't even know this guy. And it's like, no, I'm forcing myself to do these things because this is one of my weaknesses. And it's the one that I've put off for a very long time. So now I'm like, nope, I'm doing it. I don't care what happens. I don't care. I'm sure I'm going to get better because you start to identify your weaknesses. You start to improve on those weaknesses. Money can be earned. Money is one of the things that we obsess over because let's be honest, if you don't have anywhere to live, that's pretty bad. If you don't have food, that's bad. You don't have water, that's bad. You don't have clothes, that's bad. All of these things, so we do become obsessive or worried about money, but money's one of the few things we can replace. Money's, and we forget that because I've lost a lot of loved ones and friends and family and stuff. And when that happens, you're kind of like, money, you lost a couple $100, you lost a couple thousand, you lost whatever. You can earn it. You can earn that back. You can never get back a lost loved one. You don't get back these things that you do lose, not on this earth anyway. And so yeah, don't get hung up on your mistakes. Even if
Absolutely.
even if you make it again, like even if you do it again, don't get hung up on that. Just identify it, correct it, and do better.
Yeah.
Okay, so I agree with you there. So do you do mainly cold calling to get your clients, or do you feel now that you're 4 years in that the environment has changed?
No, environment has really changed now. Since I've mentioned earlier, like do not put your all efforts in only one source channel. Divide it into different platforms, different things. Right now, our most of the lead generation method are from prospecting, then reaching them out to different platforms like email, then their socials, and then again cold calling them as well. So like we have divided our sources to other platforms, and that's basically what we do for our clients as well. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely does seem like it changes as you further get in. Like you said, you kind of get an inbound, you kind of create an inbound system to where people are coming into you or coming to you versus you going to them because you start building your reputation too and you start building up to where you get referrals but that first.
Honestly, yeah, after getting my certification from Go High Level, that was the best part because after that, people started to recognize me. Like they know that this guy is in the industry and he runs this company, and we should work with him. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
the best part. I would recommend people like younger generations out there go learn, go take courses, whether it's free or not, just take courses, take your certifications, show it online, show it to the other people. This way you will build trust and people would really actually come to you and, sign up for your services or your product.
absolutely. So we kind of identified two things here. We're talking about positioning. So when you did what you did, you positioned yourself, meaning as the go high level thing, you positioned yourself as an expert. And then you back
Absolutely.
that positioning with proof, your
Yeah.
certifications, and then you get
Yeah.
your reviews or your testimonials and your awards, all basic fundamentals of marketing, right? And and so if you follow those basic fundamentals, like, those fall into SEO, those fall into ads, they fall into any form of marketing, and you follow that and you're going to do better. Like but you try to tell people this and they're like, "What do you mean positioning?" And it's like, because a lot of us, we fall into that trap of, we feel like we're competing with price. At least this was one of my struggles in the beginning. I felt we had to
Mine
compete with
also.
price. So I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, they'll do it for 300, I'll do it for 100. Let's go." you know. And
That was the same thing that I was doing 4 years back. The
and
same.
it's so depressing because you're really working really hard for pennies, and you're like, how do I get out of this? And it's even harder because now you positioned yourself as the cheapest, basically racing to the bottom. And yeah, no, that was one of my struggles in the beginning, and I really was like, man, that's just, and then looking back now, I'm going, how foolish was that? That was kind of really foolish of me. Why would I do that? Why would I think that I have to be the cheapest? Because,
Yeah.
people, if everybody bought the cheapest, BMW wouldn't exist, Ferrari,
Machine.
Lamborghinis, like, you know, going on and on and on. You can list a billion luxury things that people buy that aren't the cheapest. And so, yeah, you got to kind of position yourself as something. My positioning is I work with attorneys. So, I don't want to work with really plumbers or electricians or any of that. I've worked with them in the past, but I found that this is where I want to be. I don't want to. It's
Pick
hard
one
to
night.
it's
Yeah.
hard when you're juggling so many different industries because there's a lot of research that goes into each industry. Because if you're not a plumber, you don't know it's
Yeah.
like, oh, what services do you?
That That's what I have done. Like my niche, my industry is like other agency owners. I do provide fulfillment services, white label fulfillment, then digital marketing, go high level. So that's what we do. Like
Yeah,
pick
so
one industry, pick one niche, and just focus on it.
yeah, you positioned yourself as the guy that helps the other agencies. Here I am. I will help you. And that's important because now you have now people know what you offer. If you offer everything, here in the US we have a saying, it's like jack of all trades, master of none,
Yeah.
because you think you know everything, but you're not great at any of it. So same thing with kind of like how you were describing the don't put everything here, kind of spread it out. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's the saying we use here in the US, because if you trip, you're going to break all your eggs, and then you're kind of you're out of luck. You should have spread those eggs into other baskets and things, so if one went wrong, you didn't lose them all. And so, yeah, all great advice, great advice. So, like I said, this podcast is mainly about kind of like inspiring others, also
Mhm.
knowing, not going in, because everyone I talk to, and they start to go, "Oh, you've been working for yourself for 15 plus years."
Yeah.
And a lot of them have regular jobs, and they're talking to me, and they go, "It must be nice. It must be nice that you make all this money. It must be nice that you don't have to do that." It's like, no, you have no idea when you're working. When I first started, I was working over 80 hours a week on my own stuff, and I was making $0. I was making nothing, and that's that's where it really is hard, because you have to motivate yourself to keep
Yeah. Most
going.
of the people over there, they just quit. They just quit at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, they quit. They're going, why would you do work that work for your free? Why don't you just go work for a regular job? Like, a lot of family was telling me that, get a regular job, do this, do that. You can't make money online, because this was, a long time ago. So when we go back to that era, it still wasn't completely proven that you could make money online, because, we had eBay, of course. So you saw that kind of aspect of things. But in terms of, like, as an example with SEO, especially with like the map pack in Google, we didn't even have a tool that tracked rankings at this time. I had to
Yeah.
screenshot the rankings and kind of create a ranking report, because yeah, well, there
Yeah.
wasn't even any tools to track it. So it's like, so people are telling me, you can't sell that, you can't make money on that. Like, and it's like, well, no, I can. Watch. Like, this is definitely going to be something that is bigger as time goes on. So yeah, I don't want people to get hung up thinking that you start something and in a month I'm going to be making so much money and doing whatever I want when I want. Even this far in my career, I don't get to do everything I want when I want.
I'll
I
tell you
have
something.
to,
Yeah.
yeah, like I have to, when the cat's away, the mice will play, like, so when I'm gone, some of the workers, they're not going to listen. They're going to do their own thing because I'm gone. I'm no longer being like, well, where are we at with this? What's going on with this? What's happening with that? If I'm not there to do that, some of them have a mindset that, we don't have to do this. And so even though that I could take some days off, I have to be checking in. I have to do these things. It's almost like never really having time off, unfortunately, for me.
You know, yeah, it
But
took me, I'll tell you a, fact type of thing. It took me more than a year to land my first client. And now I have worked with over 300 plus clients, our agency, like our company.
yeah, see, but you didn't give up. That first year, you probably learned more than most people do in a decade. And you learned enough to actually land a client. And
Absolutely.
once you land that first one, though, didn't you feel like you were kind of like hyped up? You were ready. You were like, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm going to go get 10 more. Like, like it's almost like you just got this huge inspiration. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. At least that's how it was for me. I call that like the hill. There's this hill that, like, once you get it over the hill, and most people, they had a regular job. So they were working like a 9 to 5. So, it's kind of like when they go from that to doing their own thing, as soon as they get over the hill is when they make more money than they did working a regular job. And generally like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. And
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, so we gotta, if I can make it this far, I can make it better, I can make it bigger and better.
Yeah, life is full of ups and downs. I mean, I've landed my clients. I've landed like at start when I landed my first client, I went to the number of five, and then all of a sudden I've lost all of those five clients. But still, I've started working harder since I had a team at that point. So yeah, those guys are your backbone. They guys help you go rank more, like go hustle more and make more money out there.
Yeah, yeah. So this is basically where we kind of conclude. I'm going to give you an opportunity to go ahead and pitch your services if anybody who's watching and how you can help them. When I stop recording, I have a couple questions for you when we're done, just so that way I can get over all the information. It'll be like showing you the thumbnail and things, but we'll go over that when we're done. So go ahead and tell anybody who's watching about your services and what you offer.
So basically, we help other agency owners, no matter if you're in digital marketing agency, insurance, real estate, any agency. Inside all complete digital marketing services, we have 9 different departments in our company. We have a department for media buying, everything SEO, email marketing, everything. But mainly, we are focused on CRMs. And the best part, our company is also like our name is also CRM Automate. So yeah, we help clients build agents, AI agents, manage their CRMs, basically our revenue operations. We provide those services inside of Go High Level, building complete systems, handling it for them. Yeah, that's what we do inside of Go High Level and some other digital marketing stuff.
Awesome. And if anybody was looking to hire you, how would they get a hold of you?
Definitely. We do have a website. Do you want me to share it in chat, like crmautomates.com?
Yeah,
You
go ahead
want
and
to
share it
share?
in the chat. I probably will throw that up onto the details too inside the podcast
Appreciate
notes.
it. Yeah. So over there, you guys can definitely book a call with my team, or if I'll be available, I'll jump on a call. And yeah,
All right, just so that I know for my future notes of when I go to edit this, crmautomates.com. That's
yeah,
crmautomates.com. So we'll put that in there and I'll drop it down below there so people can see it. And if they want to hire you, thank you for taking your time to meet with me and to jump on here. It was awesome getting to know you and learning about what you do. It's always inspiring, even to me, to see that we haven't completely lost society. Being honest, especially you being so young and starting at 15 is really impressive. You're definitely the youngest guest and the youngest person I've ever spoke to that chased entrepreneurship. So congratulations on that. And
really
so, yeah. So I'll just hang around for just a minute and then we'll conclude.